This is Hemant Kumar from Smart Interns, working as program manager for the platform called Smart Interns. So I'll be the host for the day. So before we get started, I'll just take you through the program structure of this Oracle Academy Apex Build-A-Thon, and then I'll hand over the session for the speaker, Mr. Kalyan. Okay. So this program structure is something like this. First, you'll complete the courses which was assigned to you by the task, and then you'll attend the 5 days of Oracle Apex live training sessions. And then once this training is done, you need to select a project and enroll into it, and then work on the project where you have 10 days of time to complete the project. Okay, so now you have all completed this step one. You're on to this step two, which is your live technical boot camps. Okay, so once this technical boot camps are done, so you will be allocated with the projects. So if you want to know which sort of projects you will be working on, here we have displayed the projects whatever you will be working on. Okay, so please make sure you will not be able to enroll to these projects now. The enrollment for the projects will be given to you after this 5 days of technical bootcamp. Okay, so now you can just see the projects whatever you will be working on. So we have some 5 projects given to you here. You can, if you wanted to know more about this project, you can just click on this know more button, where it will show for you the project description, the project architecture. So in this way you can look into all the 6 projects whatever are available for you as part of this Build-A-Thon, and you can get enrolled for any one of the project. Okay, please make sure you enroll only into a single project, and there is no team formation and all in this. You have to work individual on the projects. Okay, so this is about the projects, and you will also be given a mentor support from SmartBridge and Oracle team, so that we have a Telegram group where you can post your queries, and then our mentors will respond to you back in the same group. If you wanted to join the Telegram group, you can just navigate to this page to the bottom footer. So here in this footer, you have a link to join your Telegram groups. You can make use of this link and join your Telegram group, okay, to get connected with the mentors. And let me also share this URL. I hope you all have this URL with you, but for a safer side, I'm just sharing it sharing it in the chat as well. Please have this URL with you, because you need to register or enroll for the projects through this website only. You will not be able to enroll from anywhere. So through this website only, you need to enroll for the projects at the last day of your boot camp. Okay, so this is how your complete program gets structured. As told, the first 2 are nothing but related to your course completion, which was assigned by Task and Oracle Academy. So this step you have done. Then you have to attend all these 5 days of technical boot camp. Then you have to enroll into a project. Once you have completed the project and submitted within the time, your projects will be evaluated, and then the best project or the top 3 teams will be selected by the end. Okay, and there we get a query something like whether you'll be provided with the recordings or not. Yes, the recordings of this 5 days technical boot camp will be provided to you in the Telegram group only. So I request you all to please, join the Telegram group, which will be helpful for you to access the information related to this particular Build-A-Thon. Okay, so are you all clear with the program structure and the projects made available for you as part of this Apex Build-A-Thon? Or do you have any sort of queries? Okay, great then. So let me introduce your speaker for the day. Your speaker for the day is Mr. Kalyan, who has more than 7 years of experience on application software development using Oracle. He has worked on Oracle Apex for many years and all sort of real-time projects. He has great experience working on this Oracle Apex. So I request you all to please take make use of this opportunity given to you, interact with your trainer, and gain a lot of knowledge from him. So it was great introducing Mr. Kalyan. So Mr. Kalyan, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Hemant. Thank you so much. So let's start the session now. So before that, let me share my screen. Hope able to see my screen.
Yes, Mr. Kalyan, we can see your screen.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So firstly, today's content that we are going to discuss is Oracle Application Express overview. So basically, may I know anyone is aware of about what is Oracle Application Express and why we use it? Fine. So Oracle Application Express. First, let me tell you when it was introduced and what was its initial name and why we use it. What can we do with Oracle Application Express? So in the year 2004, the Oracle Application Express was introduced. Initially, when it was introduced, the name was HTML-DB. Initially, when it was introduced, the name was HTML-DB. And the version was like 3.2 when it was introduced, the third version. So it was named as an HTML-DB. So later on in the coming years, they are gradually increasing the versions by doing some patches, adding some features, and gradually keep on increasing like 4.1, 4.2, and then 5, 5.1. And then from 5.1 to gradually they have moved to like 18, and then 18.1, 18.2, and then 19, 19.1, 19.2, and so on like 20. Now the current version is like 22.1, so which is the latest version. And this Oracle Application Express is available in two platforms. One is on-premise version and the other is a cloud version. Okay, so in this training we will be using the Oracle Academy's cloud accounts. So I hope you all already got the details of the Oracle Academy accounts, Oracle Application Express Workspace accounts created for you guys, and the credentials are already been shared with you. So after that, now let me tell you what is it actually. Oracle Application Express. What is it actually? It is an web application, rapid web application development tool. Okay. So by using this Oracle Application Express, it is a framework where we will develop the web application okay, on top of the Oracle database. So if you want to develop any web application, so we can use this Oracle application as a framework, and by using this we can develop the web applications only on Oracle database. No other database will supported by Oracle Application Express, as we have many other databases like SAP, we have DB2, MySQL, SQL Server. These are all also databases. But if you want to develop a web application by using Oracle Application Express framework, then the only way is you should have an Oracle database. On top of the Oracle database, we can create the web applications. Okay, so that is about just overview of Oracle Application Express. Now let's see the next part. So why we use it? So as I told you, it is a rapid application development tool, deployment tool, and maintenance tool. Okay, so why we use it in the sense we to develop the web applications, we can develop the applications, we can maintain the application, and we can deploy the application. So when coming to development, so we have a requirement to develop some web application where users have to register and for the register for that some applications, and they have to do some workshops kind of things. They have to do some workshops kind of things. So they can, I want one application for to develop for the registration purpose and to maintain the workshop details. So I want to develop an application. So I can start using Oracle Application Express. Why Oracle Application Express actually? So it requires very minimal coding, not no coding. It's a minimal coding, very low coding we require to develop a web application. In no time, means very in very less time, we can develop the web applications. Okay, so by using Oracle Application Express, we can develop by using other technologies as well, like Java.NET, and we have a lot of other technologies as well. But you require coding language for that. Okay, for Apex also you need a coding language, but it is very minimal part. Okay. Next, types of application. So what type of applications we can develop by using Oracle Application Express? Okay, so we can develop as I told you, web applications. In this also, what web applications we can develop, I mean types, into which domain applications we can develop. So we can develop enterprise applications, we can develop tracking applications, business intelligence applications, mobile applications. So these are all some kind of examples where we can develop our application by using Oracle Application Express. So now let me tell you how the Oracle Apex architecture will work. Okay. So what is the architecture actually? Let's say how the user interact with the, as I told, it is a web application. So we'll interact with the application via the browser. As we know, there are a lot of browsers like Mozilla, Chrome, okay, and then Spark. There are different type of browsers. So as I told you, it is a web application. So we communicate with the application, and user gives the input from the browser and how it goes to the Apex and how it do the functioning inside and how it displays to us. So this is about high level architecture. Now we will be discussing about that. So another one is type of installations. So what is this? How many types of installations we have and how are we going to do this? So we have a two kind of installations. One is complete development environment and one is runtime environment. Development environment and runtime environment. So what are those we will see in the coming session. So the next is application concepts. Workspace. So what is a workspace? Workspace itself defines that where you will get some, okay, where you will get some space to work, to develop your applications, to develop your objects, all these things. Okay, that is about workspace. So next it is internal workspace. What is internal workspace actually? So internal workspace in the sense, so whenever we install the Oracle application Express, so by default we will get one account is created. What is that account? That account is called internal workspace, wherein you will be able to handle the all the server level changes. Okay, for with respect to Oracle application Express, that is called as an internal workspace. Whoever handles this internal workspace is called as an instance administrator. Okay, roles. So how many what are the roles we have in here? So we have instance administrator. Instance administrator in the sense, whoever take care of internal workspace are called as an instance administrators. And we have the second role is workspace administrators. Okay, so who take care of workspace and users? We have a developer and then an end user. So developer will develop the objects and the applications. End user means who will be using the application is called end users. Now let's see the application Express. So as I told you, Oracle application is a web application development, deployment, and maintenance tool. So as I told you, the workspace, we can develop the application in the workspace. We can maintain the application from the same place, that is called workspace, and we can maintain deploy from the same place. So in one place we can do all the things. That is called development, deployment, and maintenance tool. Okay. So why we use Oracle application actually? So these are the features of Oracle application Express. As I told you, it is a development, deployment, and maintenance tool. So it enables you to build rapid application development, create applications that are reliable, secure, and scalable. It will be very secure and then very easy to access, and it will be understandable. Offers user-friendly development environment. So user-friendly development environment in the sense, users will be easily able to understand the things. So if they want to create an application, where they should go, and the UI part will be very user-friendly, understandable. Apart from that, it provides flexible look and feel options by using themes and templates. So what is themes and templates? Whenever you develop any application, you need some good looking applications. At that time, you need to apply some themes and templates. So your applications will look better and it will be very attractive. So that we use some themes and templates to show to do our application some good looking application. Okay, so apart from it is a declarative programming. So whatever the things we are going to do is we will be able to see the code from the same place. Okay, the we can see the code, we can edit the code in one page, and we can make the changes, and we can do the changes on the spot, and we can see the changes. After doing the changes, we'll be able to see them straight away. Okay, simple and self-contained architecture. As I told you, it is an high level architecture. So I'll be showing in the coming session. So what is high level architecture? And it is very simple. So how do we interact with the Oracle Apex engine? So how does it renders inside, and how does it show to us in the output? Okay, it is a platform independent environment, so it will not depend on any of the environment. It is a platform independent. Okay, offers individual or shared workspaces for developers. Yeah, so as I told you, workspace can be accessed by individual or it can be shared to multiple developers also. Let's say there is one application and it is being worked by 10 people. So the same workspace can be accessed by 10 developers, okay, and they will be able to work simultaneously, okay, on the same applications, okay. That is about the why we use application express. This is the main strong reasons why we use the Oracle application express. So these are all, as I told you, some a type of example applications which we can develop by using Oracle application express. So first is enterprise tracking, web sheet applications, lookups, okay, mobile applications, surveys and feedback kind of applications, business intelligence kind of applications, okay. So this is just for example purpose, wherein so these all the sites which you are able to see on my screen, okay, so they are built using Oracle Apex technology, okay. And next, here comes the high level architecture. So in this architecture, I'm going to explain you about how the user gives the input via the browser, and from there how it goes to the Apex engine, how the processing takes place, okay, and again it will how it comes back to the engine, and from there to the browser in the form of HTML, okay. So as you can see here, the user is sitting here and giving the input from the browser, okay. So whenever the users request for any input from the browser, first from the user from the browser it will go to the web listener, okay. What is web listener actually? So it is a communicator between the Apex engine and the user, okay. So whatever the input to give from the browser, it will take that input from the user and then it will pass on to the Apex engine for processing. So this work is done by the web listener, okay. So in our training we are going to use ORDS web listener. So what is meant by ORDS? As you can see here, Oracle REST Data Services is the web listener that we are going to use in our trainings. So these all things will be done while installing these things. Yes, please, Muhammad Fahad raised an hand. Can you type if you have any queries in the chat, please? Yeah. So as soon as the user gives the input from the browser, so this web listener will carry the information given by the user and it will pass on to the Apex engine, okay. This part is done by web listener. We have in this we are going to use ORDS web listener, that is Oracle REST Data Services, and it is the most recommended web listener by Oracle, okay. So once the user gives the input via browser, this web listener will carry this to the Apex engine, okay. After going to the Apex engine, what it will happen here? So you can see the schema here, Apex underscore 050000 schema. This is an inbuilt schema created while you install the Oracle Apex. Okay. As I told you, Oracle Apex will works only on the Oracle database. So if you have an Oracle database which you installed on your laptop, then you you can think that you have Oracle Apex is with you. So this Oracle Apex will not have any license cost for it. You can get it for a free. Okay. So, but the only thing is you want to buy the license for Oracle database. That is when you go for the real time. Okay. For your practice purposes, we have an open source of Oracle database software that is called Express Edition. That is called XE. It is denoted by the letters XE. It is an open source one which you can download it from the Oracle site and install in your laptop, so that you will have the database installed on your laptop. Okay, so once you have the database with you, then you can download the version of Apex also you want from the apex.oracle.com. Okay, so that you can get that version whichever you require. Like as I told you, it started from 3.2. Now the latest version is 21.2. 22.1 is the latest version. Recently, like 5 to 10 days back, the latest version was introduced. That is 22.1. Okay, you can install in our training sessions. We are going to deal with Apex 19.1, and it is of cloud version. Okay, as I told you, we have two types of uh, things. Like one is cloud version and one is on-premise version. So what is cloud version? Cloud version means everything will be taken on the cloud itself. The database part, creation of workspaces, creation of users, development, deployment, everything will be there. Coming to the on-premise version. So what is on-premise version? So on-premise version means they will set up one server, okay, and they will install the database in it, and then they will install the Apex on it, and then it will be shared to the developers. Let me know if you are able to hear me clearly now.
Yeah. So when the user use the input from the browser, so it will pass on to the Apex engine, and what it will in the Apex engine, we have an schema, okay, which is created by default when you install the Apex, and you have a metadata repository. Yeah, so cloud version and then on-premise version. So cloud version in the sense, we don't want to install anything on your laptop, okay, locally or externally. You do not want any database for it, or you don't want any other things to install. You can just access it from the browser, okay, which is hosted on the cloud. Okay, you can just access it. I'll show you all the things. How do you access the version of it, cloud version, everything. So it will be very useful for you, and everything is taken by the cloud only. Okay, but when coming to the on-premise version, you have to install everything on your laptop, like installing the database and then installing the Apex, configuring the Apex on it, all these things. And you have to make sure the server is all the time up without any power loss. If the power is lost, then your system will shut down, and the application server will be down, database server will be down, all the things will be down if your laptop got shut down due to some reason. So when you go with the cloud version, these all things will be automatically taken care. The resources which is used for running your application server, the database server, and all these things will be taken care by in the cloud only. Okay, this is about the difference between cloud version and the on-premise version. Okay, now let's come back to the architecture. Okay, So here the user is sitting here and just giving some input via the browser. Okay, it reaches to listener, web listener. We are using ords web listener. Okay, it comes to the engine PL SQL engine, and it will goes to the metadata repository. What is metadata repository? So in metadata repository, when you install all the things like in an application, we will be having the pages, we will be having a different type of components, we will be having different type of themes, templates. So all the things which we required for our development, so everything will be in the metadata repository. We can develop different type of charts, themes, templates, reports, forms. So these are all kind of things which is required for our development. This all the resources will be available in the metadata repository. Okay, and then you can see one more here, application schema. So whenever you start developing an application, you have to create one schema in the database. So wherein you will have all your database objects present in that schema. Okay, once you create a workspace, okay, you can put all your database objects in that schema, and then you can assign that schema to your workspace, so that you can create the database objects in that schema, modify them and maintain them. So once you created the database objects, you can start developing an application on top of that schema. Why? Because your database objects all will be available in that schema. Okay, so that you will be able to start developing the application. In the application, you can create the pages. Pages can be of different kinds, like one page can be form, one page can be chart, one page can be report, or this one page can be like a dashboard kind of thing. So based on the objects, you develop the application pages. Okay, as I told you, database objects. What are database objects? As you already know, like database objects means like tables, view, synonyms, okay, indexes, clusters. These are all the database objects. So here we will be mainly dealing with tables, okay, wherein we will be creating the tables in the database and we put some data into it. Okay, if you want to put some data into the tables, we create some form, okay, and we input the data into it. Yeah, I'm speaking about the architecture still, so that is the reason I'm showing the same high level architecture. Okay, I'm talking about the metadata repository and the application schema. What is the difference between metadata repository and an application schema? In metadata repository, you will have all the resources which is required for your development. Okay, in application schema, you create your own thing. In metadata repository, you will not create anything. It is a by default repository created when you install the Oracle Application Express along with the Apex schema. Okay, that is different. Application schema is where you create everything manually and you put your objects into that schema and you assign this workspace to this schema to your workspace, and then you start developing the applications. Okay, that is the main difference between application schema and the metadata repository. Okay, so now user gives the inputs from the browser, it goes to the Apex engine. Apex engine, it is built by using PL/SQL language. What is PL/SQL? It is a procedural language to SQL. Okay, PL means procedural language extension to SQL. SQL means structure query language. It is built in this language called PL/SQL. PL/SQL is a database programming language. Okay, So it comes to the PLSQL engine and it will go to the meta. Let's say you are requested for some report. So for report template, it will go to the metadata repository, and for the data in the report, it will go to the particular application schema. Let's say you have requested from one application. So whenever you request from one application, data from one application, it will go to that specific application schema. We might be having multiple application schemas and multiple applications in one workspace. Okay, I'll show you practically at the end of the session. What is workspace, how we will assign the schema to the workspace, and how do we develop the applications in single workspace. Okay, when you request any report or any form, you try to access from the browser in an application, it will come to the PLSQL engine. From PLSQL engine, it will go to the metadata repository to get the resources, and for data perspective, it will go to the application schema and it will get the data. From the metadata repository, it will get the resources, like if you request for form or a report or a chart like that, and then it will come to the PLSQL engine. PLSQL engine will club the things, so it will get that report template from the metadata repository and the data from the respect to data from the application schema. It will club the whole things. It will frame one report for you in the form of HTML, and then it will come to the browser. Okay, from PLSQL engine, it will come to the browser and it will display to the user in the browser in the form of HTML. Okay, what is HTML? HTML is a hypertext markup language. Okay, which is used to show the output to the user what they have requested. Okay, that is how the Apex architecture works. Okay, this is just a simple and self-contained architecture. Okay, hope you all understood the architecture. Let me repeat it again, just in a single liner. User submits a request, it's go to the web listener. So web listener will act as a communicator between the Apex engine and the user. So it will carry to the Apex engine. As soon as it touches the Apex engine, whatever the component you have requested, like whether it is a form, whether it is a report, or whether it's a chart or it's a dashboard, okay, it will come to the metadata repository and it will pick that. And then for the data, let's say you have some 10 applications in one workspace. You have requested from first workspace. So it will go to that particular application schema and it will get the data. Okay, and it will club together. It will come to the PLSQL engine. The processing will take place in PLSQL engine, and then it will come back to the web listener. As I told you, it is a communicator between the Apex engine and the user. Apex engine will give input to the web listener. So from the web listener to the user, it will display in the form of HTML output to the user. Okay, I hope you all understood the high level architecture, how the Apex architecture and engine works. Anyone have any doubts so far? Please ping on the chat. Any queries to anyone so far? I hope everyone understood the architecture, right? Hello. Okay. So here are the types of installation. Okay, as I told you, we have two type of installations, that is full development environment and then runtime environment. Okay, so full development environment in the sense, so full development environment in the sense wherein you develop your database objects and applications. So that is called full development environment. Okay. So the other part is runtime environment. So runtime environment. So here we cannot do any modifications to the application or the database objects. Okay. So where we use this development environment and where we use this runtime environment. Okay. So as you as you know, whenever we go into the real time, we work for any organizations, then we will have three environments. Minimum we'll have three environments. What are those? First thing will be the development environment. Second one will be the UAT environment, and the third one will be the production environment. Okay. So what is development environment? Development environment means wherein you will have access to create the objects, modify the objects, all the things. So this environment is totally being used by the developer. Okay. Coming to the UAT. What is UAT? User acceptance testing. Once the development is completed in the development environment, you move your code, and then code means whatever the code you have developed and whatever the applications you have developed, and you want to give it, you do some unit testing. So you just do some basic testing whether the whatever the code you have developed and whatever the application you have developed, is it working fine or not. You do some basic testing from your developer end. That is called unit testing. Once everything is fine, you will move that your code and an application to the UAT environment. UAT means user acceptance testing, where the users will test it, where the business people will test it. Okay. So you have to move all your code and things to the another environment, and you give your details to the user where they will test the application. Here you will not do any development here, as this is you just use it for only testing purpose. Okay. If you want to do any development, if you got any changes again, you again do the changes in the development environment. Again, you move your application and code to the UAT environment. Okay. So again, it will be usable by the business people to test the application. Okay. That is called user acceptance testing. And when coming to the production environment, which is the one used by all the people. Let's say we have developed one application and it needs to be used by many of the people. We have to make that application as public so anyone can use it. So there you should not make any changes. You should not make any changes to your application or anything. Whatever changes you want to do, you do it in the development environment. You test the things, all the things. Then final product will be moved to production environment. There, if you do any changes, then the people who are using the applications in the real time, they will get disturbed. Some pages might be not working, or some application might be got down. If you delete some things, they will not be able to access. So this kind of scenarios will happen. So in the production environment, they will just put only runtime environment in the production while they installing. So this is called of runtime environment. Development environments wherein you can develop the application objects, you can do anything you want. That is the difference between development environment and then runtime environment. Okay, these things, this installation partner will be taken care by infrastructure team. Okay, developer will not do all these things. Developer will only just create the database objects and then create the application. That's it. So here comes the workspace. Okay. As I told you, workspace, everything happens in this workspace only. You maintain the database objects in your workspace, you create the applications in your workspace, all the things happens in your workspace. Okay. So here you can see the architecture like developer A is there, developer B is there, developer C is there. Okay, these are three developers, and you have three workspaces here. WS1, WS2, and then WS. These are three workspaces. And at the bottom, you can see OE, SH, and HR. These are database schemas. Okay, as I told you, if you want to develop any application, you have to make sure that there is some schema associated to database. A workspace should be associated with some database schema. Okay, while you create a workspace, okay, you have to mandatorily give one schema to it, then only you can create the workspace. So you can see here workspace one is assigned to two different schemas. OE is one schema and SH is one schema. So you can assign multiple schemas to one workspace, and one workspace can be shared with multiple developers. So here you can see for workspace one, they have assigned two schemas. One is OE, okay, other one is SH. And this workspace is assigned to two people. Developer A can access the workspace and developer B can access the workspace. Okay, now developer A can start developing one application based on this schema, and developer B can start working in the same workspace. He can develop another application on this schema, as we have two schemas assigned to this workspace, or both of them can work on the same application related to same schema also. Okay, this is a, as I told you, this is a shared workspace. Okay, it is one-to-many relationship. When you go with workspace to schema, it is one-to-many. One workspace, many schemas you can assign. One workspace can be assigned to many developers, one-to-many relationship in either way. Okay, now coming to workspace 2. Here also you can see workspace 2 is assigned with only one schema, that is SH, and this workspace 2 is assigned to two developers, developer B and developer C. Okay, now this developer B and C can start working in this workspace. They can create the objects, they can develop the applications on top of this SH schema. They cannot develop applications on OE. Why? Because this OE is not assigned to this workspace. Okay, they will be able to develop the both can develop the application only on SH schema. Now if you see workspace 3, workspace 3 is also assigned to only one schema, that is HR schema here. Okay, but workspace 3 is assigned to only one developer. Correct, if you see, but developer C is having access to two workspaces. He is having access to workspace 2 and workspace 3. This is also possible. One developer can have access to multiple workspaces also. Okay, he might be working on HR schema. He will develop one application in workspace 3. The same developer will have access to workspace 2 also, wherein he can work on SH schema also. He can develop the applications. One workspace can be assigned to many schemas. One workspace can be assigned to multiple developers. One developer can be assigned to multiple workspaces. In all the ways, if you see, it is one-to-many relationship. Hope you understood this, right? Any doubts? Please ping on the chat. If you understood, just say understood. It's okay. Please continue like that. One schema to many workspace. Yeah, one schema you can assign to many workspace. Yes, it is possible. You can see here, you have one schema, you can do like that also. While you assigning the schemas, you can do like that. Then there is no use of it, right? One schema is assigned to many workspace. workspaces. I'm not sure about the limit. You can assign multiple schemas like 4, 5 also you can assign. I'm not sure about what is the maximum limit you can assign to the workspace, but there will be like 4 to 5 schemas also you can assign to it. Okay. No, you have to create the schemas when you create the workspace. Okay, you have to create the users for it. Okay, I'll show you everything uh, in the coming sessions, how to create the users, all these things. Okay, now let's go to the next topic. Anyone, any more queries? Schema is created in the database, but if you want to access the application, your user should be created in the application itself, not in the database schema. Okay, database schema where you create your objects, database objects. But if user wants to access the application, your user should be created in the workspace. Okay, that is different. So anyone, any more queries? Can we move to the next topic? Shall I continue? Please ping on the chat. Okay, fine. Yes, you have to add a schema to your workspace. Now you don't want to do it. Everything is done already for you. I'll show you that one. Okay. These all things will be done by infrastructure team. This is just for your understanding purpose, how the process takes place. Developer will not do all these things. Okay. Yes, you can create a full stack web application by using Oracle Application Express. Okay, full stack in the sense you will be able to, you only need to take care of front and back and middleware, all these things. Then only you can say it is as a full stack. Okay. So this infra, if you learn all the things, how to install the, how to configure the database, how to configure the Apex on it, on how to install the web server, how do you secure your application by using SSL, all these things, if you learn, then you will be a full stack developer. Okay. So in this training, as we are requesting the workspace, as your workspaces are already been created, by default they have been assigned the schemas to your workspace already. You don't want to do anything as of now. Okay. Okay, then I'll go for the next topics. See, full stack, what is meant by full stack? Actually, everything you should be done by only one person, right? Like full stack means you only should be able to take care of backend server, front end server, middleware, everything you only have to do it. So what is advantage means you require many very less coding. Okay, when you go to the cloud version, everything will be handled by the cloud only. Let's say for your organization, if you want to use Apex for your business, you want to develop some application based on it. Okay, so you require very less coding and you can develop the application in very fast and less time you can make your application live and you can start using this application. Okay, that is the main advantage of your work will be very minimal here. Okay, if you want to create one form or one application, let's say in Java technology, if you want to write one registration form, you might need to write some thousands of lines of code to write one registration form. You have to align the formats, you have to write the fields, you have to write the button. In that also you have to call your database objects. You have to write a, if you enter the username and password and click on submit button, login button, on back of that you have to call your database objects, right? Like procedure or function which should validate the user whether you are authorized person or not. Again you have to call the database procedures or functions only, right? So when coming to the Apex, as it sits on the database itself, you will have more performance. It is tightly coupled with Oracle. Apex is tightly coupled with Oracle database, so you can get more performance as it sits on the database itself. Okay, hope you understood. So here comes the roles. Okay, as I told you, whenever we install the Oracle Apex, by default instance administrator will be created. You don't want to do anything. If you want to develop a form in Oracle Apex, you don't want any of the coding. You don't want HTML, you don't want CSS, JavaScript, anything. You just want to select from the wizard point. I'll show you all the things. Once I log into the workspace, how does it look like and how much easy it is to create the application for you. So these all things are already done by Apex for you. They use these technologies and they do some templates for you already. You just make use of the existing things. That's it. Okay, you don't want any HTML, CSS or JavaScript kind of coding to develop a form here in Apex. Okay, I'll show you all these things, then you will understand. Okay, now instance administrator. So this internal workspace is handled by instance administrator. Okay, so whenever you install the Oracle Apex, one workspace will be created by default, that is called internal workspace. If you log in via internal workspace, you will be able to handle all the server level changes of Oracle Apex. Okay, like setting up the session timeout, setting up the limits, setting up the workspaces, setting up the workspace administrators, all these kind of things. Okay, so here you will understand what is instance administrator, what is workspace administrator, who is developer, what is industry. These are all the roles and in each role what they can do. Okay, now you will have some idea of understanding of it. Okay, so instance administrator, what he can do, creates the workspaces and then workspace administrators and manages services and session states. As I told you, server level changes, services, manage the services. Okay, if you want to send some emails from our application, there will be some limit. Okay, so that kind of limits, session timeouts. So if you are not using your application for some point of time, so it should be logged out for security reason. So how much time you should be set that timings. So this all server level and Apex services and all will be handled by instance administrator. Instance administrator can create the workspace. While creating the workspace, he only will assign the schema to it and he will assign one administrator to it. Okay, and he will pass on the details to workspace administrator. So workspace administrator will log into the workspace by giving the credentials given by instance administrator. Okay, what this workspace administrator can do. Okay, He can create the developers and users, and he can yes, in one instance you can have multiple workspaces. Okay. So you can in one, let's say instance, in the sense, let's say you have development instance and you have UAT instance, like that. You can create in one schema also. You can have multiple workspaces. Okay, but the same schema will be assigned to that workspaces. Then there is no use of assigning same schema to multiple workspaces, right? Is there any difference? Then only you go for another works. Let's say there is one schema which should be a security purpose. You create one scheme, one workspace, and you assign one schema to it, and you start developing the applications. And there is another schema which you don't want to assign to the same workspace due to some, there is due to some restrictions. So you create another workspace, you assign that schema to that workspace, so that only the people who are working on that application only will have access to that workspace. Okay, like that. If you want to some security kind of things and some restrictions, you want to make a differentiation between the uh, projects. Let's say you might be developing 5 applications. It will be very clumsy if you put all the schemas to one workspace and you work all the applications in one workspace. It will be very clumsy for you. So you divide the applications into multiple workspaces. You create one schema and you create the applications here. Another workspace, you assign a new schema to it. You start working on so that it will be very easy for you in order to track the, if you want to track anything also, it will be easy for you. Even the database objects also, it will be easy for you. Okay. So here workspace administrator creates the developers and users views workspace usage reports, like workspace usage reports in the sense like which user is the top user. Okay, who is using the application more, all these kind of things. They can performance of all tasks of developers. So which developer is working on what changes they have done, each and everything can be tracked in Oracle Apex. This all the things can be handled in the Oracle Apex. Okay, if you are modifying some page, okay, you have deleted something, you have created something, you have modified something, everything is tracked in the, with whatever the username you logged in. So based on that user, it will be tracked everything. You cannot do any misuse things here. Everything can be tracked here. Whatever the changes you do, if you by mistake, if you delete anything, everything can be tracked here. Okay, this is all the things can be done by workspace administrator. For each and everything, each and every click you do in the application is handled by Apex. You will have a report for each and everything here. Okay, this is all part of a knowledge purpose for you only. You are not going, developer will not do any kind of things that I'm going to do. Developer will not create the workspaces. They are not going to create the schemas. These workspaces, as I told you, instance administrator will create the workspaces and he will assign the scheme. These all things will be done by the DBS. What developer, once you join any organization, they will give the credentials to you and you will just log in and you start working on it. That is only the part of developer. Okay, see, developer creates and modifies applications and database objects. This is the only part of developer. Okay, these two people will take care of creating the workspaces, assigning the schemas to the workspaces. Okay, and this person will create the users to the workspaces. Okay, that's it. That is about developer. End user, what is the role of end? He will not be able to do anything. He will not be able to modify the application, modify database objects, nothing. He can just use the application as a normal user. Okay, Hope you understood, right? These roles, which role, what work they do, and what they are going to do. Any doubts in this? You can ping on the chat, or just say, just please continue. I'll just go to the next things. Any doubts? Okay, then thank you so much. Hope you are understanding this session. So please raise your hand or ping on the chat so that I'll be able to answer your queries. Okay. Yes, please. Someone raised your hand. Okay, then let me go to the next topic. Yeah. So this is the last slide that we are going to discuss now. Later we will be seeing the real-time demo. Okay. So as I told you, workspace from the starting of the session. So what is a workspace actually? Okay. This is the home screen wherein you will be able to see to access. Okay, I'll show you the things by which URL you are accessing this. As soon as you access that URL from the browser, you land up on this kind of screen. Okay, wherein you will have the three fields, like this is called workspace name. The first field is called the workspace name. The second field is called the username. Okay, and the third field is called the password. So once you fill in these details and click on sign in, you will be able to log into the workspace. Okay, here I told you we have 4 roles. These 3 people are allowed to access from the from this login. Okay, for end user, they will not be having access to this workspace. Their logins will be different, that is application logins. These workspace logins will be used by these 3 people only based on their roles. So if instance administrator wants to log into the workspace name will be internal. Okay, by default it will be internal. While you create the Apex, the internal workspace will be automatically created. The name, workspace name for internal workspace will be internal by default, and the username would be admin by default, and the password will be the password. While you do the installation, it will ask you for one password to enter. That password you have to enter it here. Okay, so this is how the instance administrator will log in. Instance administrator, if you want to log in, they will give the workspace name as an internal, username as an admin, and then password is the password while they given during the installation. Suppose if workspace administrators have to log in, then what is their credentials? So the workspace name will be shared by the instance administrator. The workspace name, username, and then password, all the things will be shared by instance administrator to the workspace administrator. Okay, so based on the credentials instance administrator gives to the workspace administrator, they will be logging into the, here it will be the workspace name, here it will be the username, and here it will be the password. Okay, and for developer also same. For developer accounts will be created by workspace administrators. So workspace administrator will create the developers and the end users. Okay, workspace administrator will create the developer and he will give the workspace name, username, and then password. so that developer can log in here. Okay. Coming to the end user also is created by Workspace administrator, but his login will be different. Okay, I'll show you that now. So this is how you log into the Workspace. Okay. So any doubt so far? So hereafter we'll be going to see the everything would be live demo one, wherein you will be how to access the Workspace and all the things I'll be showing you now. So for the theoretical part has been completed. I'll give so we can discuss if you have any doubts for just 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can move on to the demo part. So you can ping on the chat if you have any queries so far. Anyone, any queries, please?
So guys, kindly respond in the chat. So if you have any questions, right, you can raise in the chat. What are the type of questions you have? You can just put down in the chat. We will be clearing you all the doubts. Yeah, Kalyan, you can proceed, Kalyan.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you that only where you can find the credentials, everything. I'll be from now. I'll be showing you all things. Okay, then I'll move on to the next topics. You can't use any web technology. This itself is an framework which you use to develop the application. Apex itself is a framework to develop the web application. Okay. Apex itself is one framework which is used to develop the web application. Okay. Apex is a framework. Okay, which is used to develop the web applications. Fine. So let me quickly walk through you to the things what are all we are going to discuss here. Okay, so course overview we have already done that so far. And getting started with the Oracle Application Express. Okay, so now we are going to look on to that only. Okay, now let me this is the browser. Okay, so this is a web browser. I'm using Chrome. So this is the URL where you need to access this screen. If you want to land onto this screen, you have to access this URL. Okay. Put onto the browser and then hit enter. So you have landed onto this page. Okay. So before that, I just wanted to tell you how do you get all these links and the Workspace credentials, password, all the things. Okay, let me show you them. So you might be getting an email. Your faculty people will be creating the accounts for you. Okay, once they create the accounts for you, you might be getting the email like this from Oracle Academy. You will be getting the emails. Okay, so in this email, so in this email you will have the URL which needs to be accessed, and then you will get the credential, I mean Workspace name you will get, and then the username you will get. Okay, here you have two usernames. One is admin username and one is normal username. This admin user is the Workspace administrator username. Okay, Workspace name will be same for both. Either you log in with developer or with the administrator, the Workspace name would be same. And if you log in with this username, you will be having the administrative role. And if you log in with this user, you will have a developer role. Okay, as a from student perspective. Okay, so here you see you have SNN. Okay, here you can see where NN is a form of 0, 1. Okay, you will get this last, let's say there are some, you will get this also thing. If you want to log into the workspace now, you have to copy till here, and then this one will be the sequence will be automatically generated when your workspaces are requested. For each student, for each user, you will get numbers here like 01, 02, 03, like that. You will be getting the sequences that will be communicated to you by your faculty team. Okay, they will tell you these details. Okay, only these 2 digits will be differ for each user. Remaining things on all workspace name or administrative name will be same. And the password, this is the workspace name, same for all of them. The only thing is this will differ. And for admin, this will be the, here it will again, whatever you give here, the same you have to give it here. Remaining on all looks same. And the student name, this will be same. Again, you whatever you use here, the same thing you will use here. So when coming to the password, this is the first email that you get while your account is created by your faculty. Okay, the next time you get one more email with your temporary password. This would be like this, you will get an email and this would be your temporary password, which you will be using to log into your workspace. Okay, so I hope you got the URL. This is the URL that you are going to use, okay, to access this login screen. Okay, now I will log into this workspace by using my credentials, and then I'll log in.
Yeah. So Kalyan, sorry for disturbing.
Yeah.
So guys, can you all of you please respond? Hope you have already got the credentials right. People, please do respond in the chat. So without the credentials, you will not be able to access the workspaces. So kindly respond in the chat. We would like to know all of you are having your Apex account, right? Yeah. Yeah. So because this is a practical, right? So where you need to log into the workspace. And if you're facing any issues with the login, right, please let us know, because Kalyan will be explaining about the Apex workspace now. Yeah. So thank you so much for guys for the response. Yeah. So please try to log into your Apex accounts. Yeah. Kalyan, please proceed.
Yeah. So if you got the credentials, then it is good to know. So I'll just show you. You can the URL is already pinged in the chat. You can get that URL, and you can simultaneously start accessing the URL from your browser, and then you can start logging into the workspace as I'm logging in. Okay. So this would be my workspace name. Okay, and this would be my username, admin username that I'm going to log in. And okay, so as soon as I click on login, today is to, so far we have discussed only the theoretical part. Okay, so we haven't discussed any real-time part so far. Okay, from now only we are starting how we are going to log into the workspace, all these kind of things. Now you can continue the session. Okay, no worries. Okay, so if you did not get the credentials, then we'll let you know at the end of the session. So to whom you have to contact for the credentials. So as few people got the credentials and few people did not get the credentials, we will tell you at the end of the session. So to whom you have to contact for the same. Okay. Hope you all got the URL to access the Workspace login screen. Whoever got the credentials, they can simultaneously do the things in your laptops. So as soon as you give the workspace name, username, and then password, you will be landing onto this page. This is called a workspace home screen. Okay, this is the home screen. Once you log into the workspace, you will be able to see this kind of thing. So if you click on the right top corner, this is the workspace I have logged in. This is the workspace ID. Okay, and the role is administrator. I have logged in as an workspace administrator here. Okay. We will let you know at the end of the session. Okay. I will let you know if you will get the recording or not. Okay. For now, we will continue with that things. You listen from here. From here, it is the main thing you required for your project. Okay.
Yeah.
So far, yeah,
Guys,
please.
we will be providing the video. I mean, the recording in the Telegram group itself. So, but try to watch the now. And people who haven't received your account, right? So just try to contact your faculty, because your faculty has to create the workspaces and they have to issue the workspaces to you. So please contact your respected faculty members, or you can also put that in the group who are not got right. We just put that in the Telegram group. We'll just try to check it from our end also. Yeah. So guys, can all of you please once respond? Have you logged into the Apex workspaces? Can you please once respond in the chat? So guys, please do respond in the chat, because he is going for the workspace, right? If you have been logged in, kindly respond so that we can start with the explaining of the Apex workspace.
Yeah, I see some response that they have logged in. All of you try to log in from your workspace. So if you're not able to log into the workspace, then you'll not be able to do anything. So from now, everything would be the real time, which will be required to start working on your project. So please pay some attention and try to follow the things. Okay.
Yeah, so if you have any queries, right, if you're not following anything, please try to ping in the chat. Kalyan will explain about that things. Yeah, that's what Masnavi, if you haven't received the credentials, try to contact your faculty, or try to put a message in the Telegram group. We will look into that. And yeah, fine. So Kalyan, you can continue, Kalyan.
Yeah. So I think you will get the Telegram link, something, everything in chat. We have pinged everything, so you can get the details from there and you can request there. Okay. So this would be your dashboard once you log into the workspace. Okay. Now here you see the application builder. Sandeep, can you please ping the Telegram link here or any name, something there in the chat?
Yes, I do. I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So this will be your dashboard once you log into the workspace, and then we will have a application builder SQL workshop. These are the two things that we'll be using often, frequently for our application building and database building. Okay. Now, if I click on the application builder, I get this screen wherein you will get create, import, dashboard, and workspace utilities. Okay. Here, if you click on create, see, you get new application file from a product to app. So you can just leave this for now. We are going to deal with this only. Okay. New application. Okay. Just click on new application. Okay, so here you have to give your application name here. Okay, so you can give some name here, Oracle Apex. Okay, you can give some name to your application. Here you can just select the theme to your application. We have this many kind of themes. You can ask the queries also in the Telegram group. They'll be guiding you on that. Okay, this is the Telegram link wherein you can, if you have any issues in logging into the workspace, or if you are having any doubts, all the things can be addressed over there in the Telegram group. Okay, yeah, that's what I am discussing now. I'm about to tell you all these things. So these are the theme styles we have inbuilt given by Apex for us. Okay. So this is the name you have given. You can say the right side we have an appearance. Click on this arrow mark. You will get this pop-up screen. Okay. So here you will get the theme style. These are the inbuilt theme styles that we have given by Apex for us. We can select either of the one. Okay. So I'm just selecting the first theme. Fine. Let me come back again then. So this will be the home screen after login. So to log in, you have to give workspace name, username, and then password. After you give those credentials, you will be onto this dashboard. Okay. Then click on application builder and then click on create. So click on new application. This is the navigation. Okay. So you will come to this page. So give your name and then click on this theme style. Okay. These are the theme styles we are available in Apex by default. These are the inbuilt theme styles. Okay. So I am just selecting this theme style Vita and the navigation menu. Navigation menu in the sense I am selecting the left side navigation menu. Okay. We have top navigation menu as well. Okay. And here choose the icon for your application. There are different type of icons here. This is just a basic thing. Okay. For logo, for you can use your custom logos as well. Okay, so this is your side navigation bar and I'm just selecting this blue color theme style and I click on save changes. So I just selected my theme style. Okay, if you want to change this also, so later also you can change it, no worries about the theme style. Then if you want to add any pages to your application, you can add right away or you can add it later also. As I do not have any database objects created as of now, so I'll not be able to add any pages. I'll add it later. Okay, so you just give your name, select the template, select the theme here, and then come down. Here you have some features. Okay, you just select all the features. I'll be explaining you one by one. Okay, this application ID will be generated by default. Here you can see the schema here. Okay, able to see here, right? There are two schemas available for me here now. Got it? My application will be created on which schema. So if you select this, your application will be on this schema and your database object should be in this schema. If you select this, your database object should be in this schema. Okay. While you create the application also, you have to select the schema on which schema you are creating your application. Okay. I'm just selecting the admin one. So in this schema, I'm going to create my database objects and authentication. So what is authentication? Whenever you want to access any of the application, you need some username and password. So all the people cannot access the application. It is a security problem. So you should have some username and password for security purpose. Only the authorized person should access your application. So other people cannot access your application. So that you require some username and password for the same. Okay. So that is called an authentication. You can no, it can be of any kind, not only the admin, it can be of any name you can create. When you create the workspace, so you will get the workspace credentials, right? You can select any either. We have two schemas as of now. You can select either the one. Okay, not only the admin one. If you select the normal one, you will objects will be your application will be on this schema. If you select this one, your objects you make sure that whatever the schema you are selecting here, in that schema only you have to create your database objects. That I will show you now also now only how to select the schema and create your objects from here. Okay. And this is about the authentication, means to check whether this person is an correct person and he is the authorized person to access this application or not. We use this authentication type. Okay. We are using application express account, which is a default one automatically created here. We can just select, it will be automatically selected here. In mobile, you cannot do this. If you want, you can just access the application and look at it, but you cannot do the development from your mobile. You should have laptop for this to do the development part. Okay. You can access this, but it will be very difficult to do the development from your application. It is not recommended. You should have a compulsory laptop to do all these things. Okay. No. You can just select either of the scheme, not only the admin scheme. You can select either of the schemas. For this workspace, as I told you, this is the workspace name. For this workspace, they have assigned two schemas here. Okay. Two schemas they have assigned. You can select either of the schema here. That is up to you. Okay. So this schema I'm selecting here, and then language will be the English language. Whatever the language you want your application, you can just select here. Okay, and these advanced settings. These are all the things will be these are all not required for you as of now. Apex footer. This, if you select this one, you will just get the things like this application is built using Apex, all these kind of things. This is not required for you as of now. Okay. Now just give your application name, select the theme style, you select all these features. Okay. And this would be your application schema on which you are going to create your application. This is populated by default, and this is the application express account authentication type by default. Okay. Now click on create application. So it will start creating an application for you. So your application has been created. You can see Oracle Apex training, and this is my application ID. Okay, these are all the pages that created. I have selected the feature site, so for that features and all, these pages are created automatically by the Apex for you. Okay, now let me go back. When I logged in, this was my application builder. I clicked on this. I was not having any application earlier. I just created this application now. In my workspace, I have one application now. If you want to create a new application, click on create and follow the same procedure that I shown you now. If you want to access an existing application in this workspace, then you will be able to see the list of applications available in the workspace now. So I created this one. Just click on this. This application is open, and these are all the pages that it is automatically created. If you select that features, right, like check boxes while creating, those are that all features will be created by Apex only for you. So now I'll run my, you can see a run application. If I click on run application, in the other tab, you get the screen, login screen. Okay. Now here authentication, you need some username and password. What are those username and password? This authentication is the one you have to give workspace username and password. The one which you have given while logging into the workspace, you have given the username and password, right? That credentials you have to use here now to log into your application. No need of workspace name here. You just need to give username and then password that you used while logging into your workspace. Okay, just let me select my username. Okay, and then the password. Okay, just click on sign in. So you're into the application. Okay, this is a navigation menu, left navigation menu, and this is the application name. Okay, and here you can see the logged in user, which user, with which user you have logged in. Okay, this here the sign out option. Okay, and this is the home page. Okay, and this is the administration page, the features that I have selected here. Okay, while creating the application, I have selected a lot of features that are check boxes. So for that check boxes and all, these features have been created here. I'll tell you each and everything here, but this is just only for a knowledge purpose. When you go in the real time, this will not be useful for you. Okay, this is just for understanding purpose only. Okay. Okay, so this is my dashboard when I log into the workspace. So click on application builder. Okay, here you will see the application. If there are any existing applications in your workspace, you'll be able to find them here. Okay, so click on this and then click on run application. As I have already provided my credentials on login, I'm able to log into the application already. Okay, at the bottom you can see that there are some edit links at the bottom: home, application ID, edit page 1, session view, debug page info, all these things. These links you will get when you log in from the workspace and run the application. Then only you will be getting this edit links. So this will be useful for developer to edit the pages. Okay, let's say you're on page number 1, and if you want to do anything like if you want to add some code or do add anything in this page, then you can click on edit page at the bottom. So it will take you to this page automatically. Okay, this is called a page designer. Okay, where you add the code to your page and click on save changes and run the particular page so that you can see the changes on the spot. Make the changes, save the changes, run the specific page. Okay, you will be able to see the changes on the spot. Okay, now I created one application with all the features. These all features you are able to see here now. Okay, now let me log out from here. Okay, now this is, if you get this link, you will get this link when you log in into the workspace and then you run the application from here. Okay, this is the workspace. Click on application builder. This is your existing application. Open this and run your application from here. These things will be available for workspace administrator and then developer only. So no other person can access this view and all. Okay, when you run from here, then only you will get the edit links here. Okay, this is called developer or administrative mode. Okay, so I just copied this link. This is application link. Now I log in with a different browser. Now I'm going to show you the end user point of view, how the application login will look like. I just pasted this. Okay, I just hit enter. So you will not have act to log into the workspace and all everything. As I told you, here I logged in with workspace by using this. By using this URL, I have logged into the workspace, right? So if you use this URL, then only you will be able to access the workspace. If you want to log in from your workspace, you have to use this URL. If you want to log into the application, you use this URL. This is a URL, different URL. Once you create the application, you will get the URL from here. Okay, when you run the application, your URL will be framed. This is your application ID. Okay, you can see 15152 is your application ID. Let me explain you about the URL structure. Here you can see iacademy.oracle.com is the host name. Okay, host name means where this Oracle Apex is installed. This HTTPS means this hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, if it is yes means it is secured. Your application is secured one. Okay, if you click on this, you can see your connection is secured. Okay, you can see the certification also, what certification they are using. All this issued by iacademy.oracle.com. They are using issued by DigiCert. Okay, we have a lot of certificate, SSL certificate providers like GoDaddy. We have, okay, we have other lot of certifications. Okay, so we are using here Digi certificate. These all things will be done by a default. You don't need to take care of that. I'm just explaining you. Okay, so this is the host name, and you can see here ORDS. As I told you, we need one communicator, that is called web listener. While explaining the architecture, whatever the inputs you give, this web listener, what web listener I told you, this is ORDS, Oracle REST Data Services, correct? So this is the web listener that we are using here. So this will act as a communicator between the user and the Apex engine. Okay, this is the ORDS is web listener we are using. This is the host name and this is the secure URL accessing, and this is host name and this is the web listener ORDS, and this is your application ID, and this is your page alias. Page alias in the sense, see at the bottom we have edit page. Click on this, it will automatically take you here. If you click on this, right, it will automatically take you to the page designer, to the application page, wherein you can see your page alias, login desktop. Okay, it means what does it mean is, in this application, from this host, from the in this application, you're accessing this page, and this is your session ID. Whenever any user try to access this application, for each and every user the session ID will be created, new session ID will be created for every user. Okay, this is about the structure of the URL. First will be the HTTPS, and then your host name, and then the web listener, and then the application ID, and then the page alias, and then the session ID. This is the structure of the URL. Oracle REST Data Services, ORDS means Oracle REST Data Services. Okay, so this is about the structure of the URL. Now here I have logged in with Workspace administrator and then I have run the application. That is why I got the links at the bottom. In another browser I am accessing the application, but I did not log in with the Workspace. I just accessed the application URL. So I am not able to see any links at the bottom. Now the username and password will be the same. My Workspace username and then my password. Okay. Click on password will be my password. Okay. Just click on sign in. So you can see there are no edit links for me at the bottom. Here I have edit links. Why? Because I have run with administrative role. Okay. If you log in with developer role also, you will have the edit links here. Okay. At the bottom too. Why? Because developer have to make the changes to the application pages, right? So you will have, this is called a page designer. Okay. Page designer is divided into 3 parts. One is this part is the right left side part. This is called page rendering. This middle part is called page processing, and then right side part is called shared components. Okay, page is divided into 3 blocks. One is page rendering, page processing, and shared components. Okay, here you have one region here, Oracle Apex training here. This is you are on 999 login page. Okay, this is your screen, login screen. If you want to add any changes to your screen, you can quick edit on this, and you can see this is the username. See, you have quick edit here. Click on this, click on the username. It will automatically take you here. This is the username. Whatever the things you enter here, it will store in this variable. This is called a page item. So P999. So P means page, 999 means page number. Okay, this will be automatically created. It means this item belongs to this page. Underscore username. This is the name. Okay, and then password. So this is the password one. Okay, and we have this one checkbox here. That is for this one. Okay, and then here we have one sign in button. This is the button. Okay, this is how we, after entering the details into this fields, you click on sign in, right? Here you can see 3 tabs, 1, 2, 3 here. If you click on this one, you see the processes here. So click on login. Okay, here you have one code here, apex authentication.login, correct? This is the page item, whatever you enter here. Okay, and this is the password, whatever you enter here. Okay, these are the fields, whatever the data you enter from here, these are the names for that fields. Okay, and the label name you can give of your own, that is the name you will be displayed here inside. Okay, you can see this label name can be of your own. Okay, now whatever the data you enter in these two fields and click on sign in. Okay, once I click on that button, sign in button, whatever I enter the details here, click on sign in button, this process will run. Okay, so this process will run and it will run this apex authentication.login. This is the package and this is the procedure. If we pass these two details, it will check internally. Okay, whatever the username and password I am passing, is that valid or not? Okay, while you create the workspace only, you create the username and then password, right? That it will validate with that credentials. If it is success, you will be able to log into the application. If not, it will not be able to log into the application. This is how the process takes place. Okay, this is the end user point of view. You will not have any edit links. User will not be able to do any modifications. So any doubts to anyone so far? Please ping on the chat if anyone is having any doubts so far. So far, I hope everything is clear for you so far. Please ping on the chat. Yeah, I'll show you. So if you log in with developer or administrator login from the workspace, you will get the edit links at the bottom. Click on quick edit. Click on this. It will take you to this item or page and then particular page item. This is called a page item. Okay. And then one more. This is the password page item. Okay, and this is the login button. Okay, on the right top you can see the 3 tabs here, 1, 2, 3. In the third tab you see the process login. Click on that login. On the right side you will be able to see the code of it. Yes, Avita, I'm explaining the same. Once you open the page designer, this is the part. This is called page rendering. This is called page processing, and this is called the shared components part. Okay, click on the third tab on the left side panel. You will get the process. Click on the login part. You will be able to see the code. Okay, apex authentication.login. This is the inbuilt package and the procedure which will validate the username. Okay, username and then password. So at the bottom you can see edit page is there. Okay, it will get for all the pages. Okay, now we are on the login page. So at the bottom you see the edit page 9999. Click on this, it will automatically take you to the page designer. Okay, this login page on the home, let me tell you, there is a page called global page, and then home page, and then login page. These three pages is automatically created by Apex for you. You don't want to create those pages. Okay, so Apex will create the login page for you. By default is global page, home page, and then login page. These three pages will be created for you by default. Okay, have you created the application, Joshna? If you have created the application, see, try to follow the things that I'm saying, then you will be able to do the things. At the bottom, click on edit page 9999. Okay, here you can see the left side panel. This is how it looks when you when you click on the quick edit. This is how you will be able to see. So from left side, 1, 2, 3, third tab, processing tab, like square you will have. Click on this, and then processes you will be able to see the login part. You follow the same process that I have shown you, you will be able to get it. Okay, so now let me create one more application for understanding purpose, and I am not going to select any of the features here like this. You will not be able to see all the features here. This is are all just for learning purpose only. I don't want to show you all these things. I just create everything manually. Okay, now let me go here, create one more application. Now I have only one application in my workspace. Click on create. I create one more application. Okay, click on new application. Give your name as demo. You can give of your own whatever the name you want. Okay, just select the theme. This time I select different theme, and I select top navigation menu. Now save the changes. I am not going to select any of the features here. So by default, home page, login page, and page 0 will be created as I told you. Okay, I just given the name, selected the theme. That's it. I click on create application. You can see my application has been created. New application, demo application 15262 is my application ID. In this, these pages are automatically created as I told you. Global page, home page, login page. I will create, I'll click on run application. So I am into my application login page. Username and password will be the same. Okay. Click on sign in. So this is my new application I just created. Now you can see that navigation is at the top, but here I use left navigation menu on blue theme. and the features I have selected here. But in another application, I did not select any of the features. I have selected red theme and top navigation menu. Okay. Hope you understood. Any doubt so far to anyone?
So, guys, can you please respond if you're able to follow? If anything you're missing, kindly respond in the chat.
Hope you are doing the same in your laptop also.
Yeah. So anything you wanted to repeat, right? You can also put that in the chat. We will explain that as well. Guys, we are expecting some responses from you.
So hope all of you are understanding the things. So you, whatever I'm doing here, you do the same thing simultaneously in your laptop so that you will not forget the things. Yes, we can write the code in JavaScript. You should have access to your application. Java you cannot write, you can write JavaScript. Okay. You can write JavaScript code, HTML, CSS you can write. Yes, you can add. I will tell you in the coming session. Today is just a demo, just an introductory session on how do you log into the workspace, how do you create a sample database application with login page and then home page. That's what we have done today. Okay. Yes, we can do everything. We will be discussing in the next thing. We have the agenda here. Okay, so today we are dealing with only this introduction part. Okay, I'll be telling you this all the things tomorrow. Creating the basic database application, we have already done that. Using SQL workshop, creating the database application. Okay, so far I told you just a basic thing like how to create an application with dummy. There is nothing in the application, just one login page and then one home page we have done today. Right, exactly. After completion of this boot camp, you will be yes, you will be able to create an application of your own. Okay, you can use JavaScript, HTML, CSS also here whenever it is required, but as of now it is not required for you. You will just go with the basic thing which is required for your project kind of things. Yes, you can delete the application if you don't want. I'll show you that. So now I should be having two applications in my workspace. Okay, this is my workspace dashboard. As soon as I log into my workspace, click on application builder. I am having two applications in my workspace as of now. Okay, and if I want to create new application, click on create. So if I want to open existing applications, open this existing application, click on this. At the right side you can see delete this application. If you say click on this delete option, your application will be deleted from your workspace. Okay, so you will be notifying all the things, how we will be able to create the projects and all. You have 5 kind of projects which we have shown in the starting of the session. We have 5 different kind of projects wherein you will be able to enroll for the projects at the end of the thing, end of the boot camp. Okay. I think there is no such kind of limit to how many application can be there. It depends on all your need. If you put more applications, see, whenever you create an workspace, you should assign some, they will be assigning some space to it. Okay, let's say you have assigned some 500 MB. Okay, and you develop and you create 100 applications, and in each application daily the pages will be growing, right? In one application you can add multiple pages. As you know, as you keep on adding the pages, your application size will be getting increased. So based on that, you have to manage the things. It doesn't mean that you have to put only one application in one workspace on only 50 pages in one application. It's nothing like that. In mobile you can, yes, you can use this application, no need of installing here. As this is a web application, you can access the URL like this. Let me show you. Okay, this is the URL that you can access in your application. Okay, this would be your application. You can send it to your email and you can click on this URL. You will be landing onto your login page, and you have to put, this is how the screen you get in your mouse. You have to access from the browser. Okay, if you want to access this as an Google kind of app, like in the Play Store, you download the application and you have the icon on your mobile home screen, right? If you want like that kind of thing, that feature is not available in current version of Apex 19.1. That is progressive web apps. That option is available from Apex 2021 only, which was introduced in Apex 21 version. In 19 version, you do not have that kind of installing the application. If you want to access this application in your mobile, you just need to access this URL in your mobile browser. That's it. You will be able to log into this and then you will be able to use the application, but no development can be done in your from your mobile. Only start using the application. So any doubts, anyone? I hope this session was very useful for you and very informative for you people, and you have understood the when the Apex was introduced, why we use Apex, what can we do with Apex, all these things, and how do we access the workspace, how do you log into the workspace, how to create a sample database application. Okay. You should not paste the same in the same browser. As you have logged in the Chrome browser, you have logged in with Workspace, and if you access the URL from the same browser, you will be able to see the edit links. You have to access your application URL from different browser, then only you will not get the edit links. You have opened the Workspace in the same browser and you are trying to access the application URL from the same browser, then obviously you will be able to see the edit links at the bottom. There is an already session created when you log into the Workspace. If you access the application URL, it will be in the same session. That session is created for Apex with the same credentials. That is the reason. Yes, you can check it. You log in the same browser. If you want to log out, you copy the URL, application URL, you log out from the browser, access the work application URL, then you will not be able to see the edit links at the bottom. That is the end user view. Okay. I hope you understood. Anyone, any doubts? We will be closing the session for today in next 5 minutes. Please ask if you have any other doubts.
Kalyan, can I quickly once create one more application and just show that? Because most of them are asking me how can we create and run that application.
Yeah, sure. So this is our dashboard once we log into the workspace. If you want to log into the workspace, you require workspace name, username, and then password while you want to log into the workspace. Okay. So if you want to create a new application, click on application builder. When you click on the application builder, you can see that at the bottom, you can see existing applications, and you can have the create option to create a new application. Okay. Click on create, click on new application, give your name. Okay. Select the theme here, whichever you want. This time I select okay, and then top navigation menu, save changes. That's it. Click on create application. So your application has been created with global page, home page, login page. These 3 pages will be created by default whenever you create an application in your workspace. Okay. Click on run. So this is your login page. Username and password will be the one which you given while logging into your workspace. Username and then password. Just give that username and then password. Okay, and then password. Just sign in. Got it? This is your home page. Okay. Hope you understood how to create a basic database application. Yes, we will provide the recording to you people. You will get the link of this once they have uploaded the video to some Google Drive or something. Yeah, you can into the workspace if you want to add multiple users. Okay, that you can do it from here. This is your workspace login screen. Okay, on the right top, on the right side, you can see administration. Here you can see manage users and user groups. Okay, click on this. Okay, here you can just create your user here. Okay, click on create user. Give some name. I'll give like some test username. Okay, I'll say test user 1. I will give some name as test123@gmail.com. Okay, and here you want to select, you want to give workspace administrator privileges means, then you can just select say yes. If you want to make the user as a developer, click on yes. So he will have access to application builder, workshop, team development, all these things. And then password you can set it here. Test@123. Test@1. This is my password I am setting. So I just say click create user. So user has been created. My username is test. Okay. and I have a developer account. Okay. Now I log out from this administrator role. Okay. Let me close all of the things. So now I want to log in with the new user that I have created. Workspace name will be my same workspace name. Okay. And the user is test user1, and my password that I have created now. See, password must be changed for this account by initially. Give your current password, give your new password. Okay, click on apply changes. So I have logged in here. My workspace name, I have a developer role. This is my username. I have logged in. You will be able to see the application, all the applications. You have a developer role here. Okay. As you have logged in with developer role, you will not be able to create the users. As I told you, only the workspace administrator can create the users. Got it? Earlier I was on administrative role, so I was able to create the users. Now I have logged out and logged in with developer role, so now I do not have option to create the users. Hope you understood now. Anyone, any doubt?
Yeah, guys, please do respond if you have any questions.
Check if you are logged in with which role. On the right top corner, click on this, see what is your role. Is it developer or administrator? If you are not able to see manage users. So as I see, you told your developers, that is the reason you are not able to see the manage users. In your email, if you see, you will be having see, this is the email I think you might be receiving. You will, this is the credentials that you might got. If you log in with this username, you will get the admin access. If you log in with this user, you will get the developer access. Try to log in with this user so that you will be getting the administrative access. Okay, check your email and try to do the things accordingly. You will have admin username as well, wherein you will be able to see this manage user groups. If you are a developer role, then you will not be able to create the users. So you can see here, workspace administrator only can create the developers and users. Developer will not be able to create the users. This is the roles. So hope you have understood everything. So we'll be winding up the session now. If you have any doubts, you can put it on the chat, or else you can put it in your Telegram group as well. The team will be guiding you or helping you on the things. So if your account is locked, there is some specific things. Number of times, if your account is locked, you have to log in with administrator credentials, and then you have to unlock your account. Okay, that I'll be telling you in tomorrow's session, how to unlock the user, all these things. Okay. Yeah, there will be the number of times also. Yeah, if you enter the wrong password for this many number of times, then your account gets locked, and the administrator have to go there and unlock your account, and then they will set the password and give it to you. And upon first login, you have to change your password again. Okay, then I hope the session was clear to you.
So guys, all of you, can you kindly respond if it is clear, mention clear in the chat. So we'll also provide the video link in the Telegram group. So before coming to the tomorrow session, right? So try to watch that and try to have some experiments on with your workspaces so that it will be clear in the tomorrow session. So I request all of you to once again go through the video. We will be providing the recording video in the Telegram group. Okay, so with the help of the link, you will be able to access the video. So kindly access that. And in the tomorrow, we'll again touch up with the basics, and we'll also go for the SQL. So we'll also teach you that how can you create the tables in Apex, all this kind of stuff. So I request all of you to once again watch the video. Okay. Yeah. So Kalyan, anything you want
Yes.
to say? Yeah. Or we can
Mm,
close it.
no, nothing else. So tomorrow we'll be creating the database objects, all these things. Okay. So if you do not know the SQL or PL SQL also, then there is a way for you to create the database objects, which will be very easy for you. Everything will be just select and give the enter the names. That's it. It will be very interesting from tomorrow, and from tomorrow it will be everything like real time. First you create the database objects in a particular schema, and then you start creating the application on your top of your schemas, and we'll be adding additional pages to our applications from tomorrow and creating the forms, reports, all the kind of things. So it would be very interesting from tomorrow. I request all of you to please go through the session, recording session, if you have any doubts, so that you will be able to catch up the things from tomorrow. So we are closing the session for today. Thank you so much for your time. We'll meet up in tomorrow's session at the same time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandeep.
Yeah, thank you, Kalyan. So guys, you can also use the same link for the tomorrow. So the link will be the common to join the session. So the timing would be the same from 5 to 7:30. So I request all of you please join in the same timing. Yeah. So thank you, Kalyan. Thanks for your session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Sandeep.
yeah. So guys, we are ending the session. So kindly join in the tomorrow session.
Thank you all. Meet up in the tomorrow session.
Yeah. Thank you all.